Hello everyone. So my plan today was to share a workout routine, right? Like I haven't been working out lately and I was trying to get back into the whole fitness regime thing. So I was planning to share like my pre-workout routine, like stretches and Pilates. So that was my plan. So this topic I'm doing today, it wasn't what I planned to do at all. However, yesterday I was looking through social media, right? And I ran into a post and trust me, throughout yesterday I was trying to convince myself not to do this, but it kept going over and over in my head because it was like a slap in the face, right? Okay, so the post that said something like, it was like a direct slap in the face for me, and that's why I'm doing this, right? So the post that said something like, okay, if you're not a virgin, right, you have no right to practice celibacy. Like, what? Are you kidding me right now? Like, I don't understand. So what you're saying, what you're telling me is I have no right to decide not to give my body to just anybody till I am ready. Is that what you're saying to me? Like, what? Who are those people? The rate at which people, especially young girls, are being misled is actually appalling. Like, okay, I think because different slangs have been given to the actual word sex, a lot of people forget its actual meaning. Do you understand? Like you say intimacy. I mean, intimacy is okay, which is what I'll be using today. You say strafing and all sorts of things. So people miss the real meaning of what sex is. So let's look at that word, sex, and what it really means. It means sacred energy exchange. Now, I took the liberty of looking up the word sacred, right? And it means connected to God or for religious purposes, which tells me whatever it is supposed to be a holy thing between man and wife. I mean, if it's supposed to be holy, sacred means connected to God or something of a religious purpose. Do you understand? Which means it's holy, which tells me that whatever it is something that should be reserved. It's holy and it should be reserved between man and wife, right? But the trick of the world says to me that I cannot make my own decisions what I do with my body, isn't it? Okay, so let's look at what energy exchange is, right? Energy exchange means whatever it is I have inside of me, in my bloodline, in my blood, in my energy, I can transfer it onto you and vice versa. So let's say, for instance, you're a lady, right? And you get intimate with somebody. So if in their bloodline they have sickness, now I'm not talking about STD and all those kind of sickness. What I'm talking about is sickness of the mind, for instance. So sickness of the mind can be depression, it can be fear, it can be insecurity, it can be sadness. They can transfer that to you. And then if you as a lady have maybe good fortune, happiness, you can transfer that to them. So you exchange your energy. That's what that means. So if it's sickness of finances, it could be they could have in their finances, they could have sickness of finances, which will be something like a pay cut. You can just get to work and they would cut your pay in half. It could be reduction in business. Do you understand? That's a sickness in finances. It could be a sickness in body. Now, sickness in body would look something like unexplainable pain, prolonged what's it called, menstrual period, a lot of pain during, do you understand? Just some sort of sickness, and they can transfer that to you. I mean, it's vice versa, right? A woman can also transfer, so, and you will transfer whatever it is you have. If it's good fortune, you transfer it to them. Or it could be death. And when I say death, I'm not talking about actual dying. What I'm saying is it could be death in your health, which means unexplainable sickness. It could be cancer, whatever it is, God forbid. Or it could be death in finances, which means you will lose your source of income. So I start to experience different losses, and then you transfer whatever it is. So that's energy exchange. See, when I discovered this, I chose abstinence. I chose to go celibate. So it's not a flex. So a lot of people think saying, oh, I'm celibate is actually a flex. It's not a flex, because think about it. If you're a virgin, there's no comparison. But if you are not and you choose to be celibate, then it takes a lot of strength, it takes a lot of willpower, do you understand, to actually abstain from it. So this is something that should be commended, that is actually being rejected by society, because that's the trick of the world. So if there's nothing to this, do you understand, there won't be so many tricks to it, do you understand? If there's nothing to it, then it's not such a big deal. But the thing is, like, for example, when I decided to go celibate, I heard all sorts. There were so many tricks of the world that tried to make me give it up and go back into, do you understand, just to prove a point. There was nothing I did not hear. I heard, oh, maybe she's gay. I mean, come on. I'm straighter than the ruler, right? But I have nothing to prove. So this was a trick of the world to make me say, okay, you know what? Let me start dating somebody just to prove a point that I'm not gay. I mean, not casting any aspersions. Do you understand? What you're into is what you're into. I'm just straight. I heard maybe she's hiding something, and actually somebody said I was a dude that actually did surgery. So I mean, that was crazy. Anyway, except I did surgery when I was 5 years old, because my body has always been like this, and anyway. Then I heard, oh, maybe she has an STD, blah, 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 that she's hiding, and that's why she's not, being intimate with anybody. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure in every area there are up to 10 test centers, right? When the time is right, I am ready to round all those test centers and carry out all the tests in the world, and go to another state if need be, and go out of the country if need be, just to get a clear test result, because I'm healthy as a horse, so. But the biggest trick was, and somebody actually said it to my face, right? The person said, oh, you're so childish. How can you even say that? What celibacy? You're so childish. And believe me, that would have gotten to me, because it used to in the past. Like in the past, somebody would say to me, I would sit down with friends, right? And a friend would say to me, oh, you can do this, do that with your man. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. And they're like, oh my God, that's so childish. You think you're a child. And you see, that used to get to me, because I'm such a free spirit, right? Do you understand? I'm such a free spirit. So I'm just like, I live in simplicity. I don't like the stress. So, and to very serious people, that can come across as childish. Do you understand? But I like that childlike energy. That's who I am. Do you understand? So I would run and say, oh, really? Oh, you think I'm a child? Okay. You know what? Let me try this, try this. Then the same people would turn around and say, oh, you won't believe what she did. Oh my God, you won't believe what she did. And for me, it's like, don't get angry. Really and truly, who's the fool? Is it the person that says jump into fire, or the person that jumps into fire? I was the fool. I was the one that jumped into fire. Do you understand? Because I knew better. I should be wiser, right? So I can't get angry. I just have to learn from my mistakes and take responsibility, right? Anyway, what was shocking to me the most is that it was women that actually agreed with that post the most. Now, I mean, celibacy should go both ways. It should work both ways for both men and women, right? But the reason why women are so tricked is because women are the target. Let me break it down. Let's go back to the story of Adam and Eve, right? In the Bible. Now, if you remember the story of the apple, and the serpent had come and tricked Eve into eating the apple. Now, it is rumored, wildly rumored, that the apple is actually intimacy, is actually sex, right? And the only reason why I would consider it is because if you consider like young girls and everything, when a girl is like, when people are young and they don't mind, they're free. Think about young girls when they start having boyfriends or they start being intimate with men. They change. They start to feel like, I know it all. You can't tell me anything. Don't tell me what to do. I'm a grown woman. Do you understand? They want to increase their age. They start to see themselves the way Adam and Eve started to see themselves in the Garden of Eden. So that's the only reason why I would even consider that to be true. Like, so the serpent went to Eve and not to Adam because women are the targets, because women are gates. And why is that? Women hold something extra. That's the womb. They're called the womb man, a man with a womb. Do you understand? That's the womb. Why? Because your womb is your intuition. Your womb is what helps you in your home, what helps you guide your home against negativity, against destroyers, against whatever it is. Your intuition. Your womb is your creativity. It's what helps you turn a house into a home. Your womb is what nourishes, is how you receive life force from your husband, and you nourish it and birth a child. So, I mean, if that fine boy with the magic stick helps you shift that womb, you've lost what makes you extra. And that's what a lot of young women are experiencing today. It's that they think it's the enjoyment part of it, but you've lost what makes you extra. Back in the days, the symbol for marriage was actually intimacy, sex. Now, I had to look this up, right? Now, if you go back into Genesis 24:67, I looked it up. So if you're not Christian, you can Google it, right? It's a story of Isaac and Rebekah. What had happened was, when Rebekah was brought from her father's house onto Isaac, that passage said he went in onto her and he knew her, which means he was intimate with her, he had sex with her, right? And she became his wife. So it wasn't so much the ceremony, it was that act, do you understand, that was the symbol of marriage. Now, sex is a form of worship. Why? Because you're giving all of yourself. Now, Cambridge Dictionary describes it as to love, to respect, and to honor somebody without noticing any of their bad qualities. So what you're doing is, every time you're being intimate with someone, you are defying everything that is right. So it's not right, but you're defying everything that is right. Which is why the only one you should worship is God, or build intimacy with the Holy Spirit by praying, praising, or singing worship. Because every time you're intimate, you're birthing something. So if you're intimate with the Holy Spirit, you're birthing the gifts of the Holy Spirit, which is wisdom, understanding, fortitude, and so on. When you're intimate with somebody that is not your spouse, you're also birthing something, like we discussed earlier. You could be birthing sickness, you could be birthing death, which is why intimacy is only reserved for marriage. This is what you're supposed to do: build intimacy with the Holy Spirit till you're legally released to build intimacy with your spouse. It's like what they say, leave to cleave. A man shall leave his parents and cleave unto his wife. Do you understand? So his parents could be his earthly parents or his ethereal parents, and cleave unto his wife. So at that time, you're being legally released. And the reason why the marriage bit is so important is because at that time, you have legal right to break off any negative energy exchange. When you're legally married to somebody, you have legal right to stand in place and break off any negative energy exchange. You have the legal right to break off any negative exchange of death, of sickness, or whatever it is, because you are that person's legal partner. So you have access into their energy, you have legal access. So then when you're married, you can stand as an innocent person before God and say, look, I don't know anything about this, I just married this person. Besides, if it's not a right marriage for you to go into, because you have that intimacy with the Holy Spirit, either the relationship will just break off, or you will continuously see signs why you shouldn't even go into the relationship with the person in the first place. So what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people have been misinformed, do you understand? And there's so many tricks to the world, because what intimacy, sex really should be for is marriage. It should be reserved as a holy communion that happens between a man and his wife. Namaste.